Alright, we're back. Alright. We're heading to the foothills. We wasted a lot of time. I wish there was a day tracker somewhere. Coming down a low rise, you hear voices ahead and the crackle of fire. These are the bandits we ran into the first go round. So we're going to wait and listen this time instead of keeping going like the other guy did. You crouch down into the low grass and listen. There are two voices, gruff and crude. I hear it's today or the next day, says one. Oh, sorry. I hear it's today or the next day, says one. They've given her 50 gold pieces out here. Easy pickings, the other replies. 2 of us and only 1 of her. Enough to buy a boat. They're talking about me, clearly. We don't really need to keep listening, do we? Let's find a way around. Crawling on your belly like a snake, you make your way through the grass to an outcrop of rocks which will lend you some shelter. From there it's easy to slip around the bandits' encampment and find your way back down onto the path. About half an hour later, you reach the start of the climb into the hills proper and continue upwards. I'm actually going to rewind. I don't like that for this character, even though it worked out for us. I always forget when you click rewind, it immediately goes back to the last time. I feel like she's an explorer and adventurer, but at the same time, if someone's planning to rob her, she's going to fuck them up. So them talking about robbing her specifically, or just in general, if they had just been talking about, like, amongst themselves about non-stealing passerbys, she probably would have just snuck by them. But she thinks they're up to no good, and she wants to put a stop to it. So, let's approach them. You straighten up and move around the side of the outcrop and find the 2 speakers. They are sharpening their swords as they cook themselves a meal. Threaten them. Should I greet them? Why would I greet them if I know they're going to rob me? Let's threaten them. You place one hand on your sword and then 2 men look sharply up at you. Alright, here we go. If you value... If you value your... I can't do it. If you value your skins, you tell them, you will stay seated. Nah, that's alright. But they leap to her feet. It's her, one cries. Look at the gold at her belt, the other replies. He draws his sword. Bandits. 2 against 1, the first declares. You're lost, calls the other. So hand over your things, come on. Deal with these curs. You draw yourself to your full height. You have mistaken me. You have mistaken me for someone else, you declare. You will suffer for that mistake. The bandits growl and advance on you, one on either hand. So she's a sorcerer so far. We're Campbell, apparently. So what can we cast? There's Fireball, yeah. Which would be quite fun. Zap, which is fine. We did the protection spell, which worked, but it didn't really... Big would be kind of cool, just to scare the hell out of them. 6 would be... I'm going to do this, because they're like 2 versus 1. What about 6 versus 2, huh? Let's see if we can do it. Oh, I took my headphones off, so I have no sound. It's a little strange. Damn it. Why are we so limited to what we can cast here? That's such a strange thing. That's so weird. That would have been so good. So I can't do Fireball. Law. What's J and what's L? It's unfortunate that you have such a limited choice of spells, right? So I know one of them's Law. Attacking creature allows the caster to control. I don't know if they really count as non-intelligent. So there's also J, which I can't cast those. Dud would be interesting. I don't think there's any D's though. Movements and reactions. Mage. They're obviously not magicians. Dim. To muddle its mind. Dim would be kind of interesting. I don't think I can cast it though. Sap would be kind of interesting. But again, can't cast it. Okay. Let's see what options we have here. There's nothing that started with the J that I saw. At least nothing I could cast. Law, J, Foff, Magic, J. Let's just see what happens here. Jig. Cause lively dancing. Requires a bamboo flute. Okay, so there was something there. So, L, A, W is law. Man, that's just kind of disappointing. What's F, A, L? Let's fall. I'm not going to be falling. So I can only do Foff? Alright, we're not doing that. We don't want these guys to run away. We're going to smack them down. The first bandit closes on you, cackling and grinning. Time to put this creature into its place. So he can't actually do that much. So we're going to just go for the cut. And then for the finishing blow, ready to protect himself. So let's just go for a jab. And then we kill him. Thrust! Didn't even take a thing of damage. You show no mercy. You go for his throat with all your strength. The bandit gasps his last as you run him through. I guess I could read those, but it's kind of just a lot of filler text, isn't it? The second bandit takes one look at his dead colleagues and turns and makes a run for it. Chase him. You immediately give chase. He will not get away so easily after trying to rob you. For the, what was the place I'm from called? I don't know. Thrust. No! You son of a bitch! Defend. Get him! Finishing blow. Oh. Finishing blow. Oh. No, I'm dead. Okay, we'll try again. He just barely beat me that time. Let's go for 7. There we go. Just do a 0.1. No? My B. But now, we destroy. Destroy! He looks down at his friend's body and you seize the moment to strike and swing with expert precision and all your strength. Your strike is more than the bandit can take. He falls to the ground, quite dead. 2 stamina lost. That's acceptable. The fight is over. We have to take, we can't just sit there and do it again and again until I take no damage. That's not how you play this game. The fight is over. You clean your weapon and regain your breath. Search the bodies. You search through the bandits' pockets but find nothing, not even a single gold piece. Their clothing is ragged and rough, worse than animals. You leave their bodies for the beasts to pick clean and set off again. After about half an hour, you rejoin the path, which turns uphill. Man, okay, that was a waste of time and stamina then. However, they will no longer rob anyone in the hills, so we are grateful for that. Alright, so let's go climb into the hills. We're not making good progress, to be completely honest. Can you eat food at any time? I think you have to wait to camp, which is a bit strange, but... Leaving Cantopani behind marks the true start of the wilderness. Beyond that tiny outpost, there are scattered homesteads and Kar, a thriving city port. But all are touched by cruelty, isolation, and fear. The backlands and the long shadow cast by Manping Fortress darken everything. No time for reflection. Onwards we press. You know the importance of your mission. Now it has begun. You must simply survive first and succeed second. You are well prepared as anyone could be. You are as well prepared as anyone could be. Aw, that's nice of you, game. 5 minutes later, you reach a fork in the road. The sergeant, for all his eyesight, hadn't mentioned this. Hadn't mentioned a fork in the road? I think he probably assumed you could handle that on your own. You go left or you go right. Look right. It's hard to see much further uphill. The forest is sudden and thick and the path narrow. It may be hard going in that direction, but the hills will involve a lot of climbing eventually, and you may get a decent view of the next leg from the top of the ridge. Look left. We know what's left. Oh, wait. A cry? No! We must save them! You look around and finally up into the branches of the tree. A pair of wizened, calloused feet are dangling down over your head. About to drop on you, perhaps? Climb up. You swing yourself up onto the lowest branch of the tree, and the owner of the feat shrieks in alarm. You see it is an old man, dressed in rags and as thin as a bone. "Oi!" he calls, trying to retreat along the branch. "What do you want?" A few branches above him, you notice a buzzing beehive. What are you hiving? Oh, I don't know what that was. I think I was still kind of doing like partially the old man voice, trying to, and also my voice. What are you hiding from? How the old man got up the tree is a puzzle. He looks too frail to lift his own weight. What are you hiding from? You cry. I forget that it reads it in the text. I shouldn't read it here. I should click on it and then read it. Damned Alvines, he replies. I were traveling from Dumpus to the outpost settlement in Onderland, but I were waylaid by Alvines, robbed me blind, all but took me eyes, and left me up the tree. I keep getting older, you see. We all do, but some worse than others. Climbed up, but now I'm too old to get down. That's a poor description of your situation, I find, but we can help him out of the tree. You reach up and grab the old man by the waist. He is as light as a leaf, and within a moment, you have lifted him to the ground. Thanks for that, he remarks, brushing himself down and almost knocking himself over in the process. I was just starting to get a bit, perturbed, but I'm safe now. He seems remarkably confident, considering that the slightest stumble might break him into bits. What will you do now? Keep going for Analand, he says. That's where I set off from, while back now. You wouldn't believe the story if I told you. Suffice to say, though if I know my eyes from my eyes, you're heading out to Mamping and you better be smarter than I was. And here. Oh, so, a couple things. Sounds like this was the guy who left before me, which they said, which, is probably just another version of myself, a failed playthrough that they're hinting at. So I could probably turn into an old woman at some point. However, he's also giving me a page torn from a spellbook, and in my last game, I ran across a woman. I'm not going to spoil it because we're probably going to run across her again, that wanted a page torn from a spellbook. I don't know if it would be a good thing to give it to her. She was kind of iffy, but that's very interesting that I found him so quickly. This might be of some use to you. I found this. Just found it, man, and don't go asking how. But it's no good to me anymore. Look at the page. You look the page over suspiciously. It seems to be half of a spell. C.A. She said that it would... is something kind of weird, like clean? Or, I don't know. C.A. That might have been used for pest repulsion. Oh, yeah, it was a pest repulsion spell. But it is unworkable in its current state. Keep it. You take the page and put it into your pack. Climb up to the hive. Leaving the old man sighing with gratitude on the ground, you climb higher through the branches of the tall tree. I find it weird that this hive keeps being emphasized. It's probably a bad thing, actually, now that I think about it. Pest repulsion, beehive. The beehive hangs like a ripe fruit from the very highest branch. A huge number of bees dance out in and out in a swarm. Use magic. You get your balance enough to free your hands for a spell. I'm not actually going to cast a spell. I just want to see if it will let me do like C something. Zed! Aww, Zen. Hover in air. Huh. I like that it will tell you what it is. B-I-G. Grow in size. That would be kind of humorous, wouldn't it? L? Oh, Law. That'd be a good one, wouldn't it? 3 stamina, though. I have, what, 3 stamina exactly? Can't keep casting these spells. D. O. Dose. Cause slowness. I think we're just gonna avoid the bees. I think... Oh, wait. Do I have to cast a spell now? No, no, no. We're rewinding. That's dumb that I can't just, like, decide not to cast a spell. Right. Give up. You give up and drop back out of the tree. The light is fading. It's time to move on. Oh! The man cried suddenly. Do you want to hear me whittle? I heard it from the Elvines. Sure, buddy, whatever. You gesture with a hand for him to speak. See him, though he sees you not, a stinging beast in a box not left. To guard a key, it is his lot. To gull a witch of luck bereft. To gal a witch of luck bereft. It is nonsense, clearly. You nod once, then turn your attention to the path ahead. A stinging beast in a box not left. To guard a key, it is his lot. I know who the witch is. Okay. So, we have two paths. I know it's this way. I've been here. I've been here. Obviously, that you can go around this way. However, there is this other path to go up around to Cristotante this way. And I believe that's what I'm going to do just because I haven't done it before. I don't think it's a good idea. I think I'm going to get screwed over. But, you know. The high route seems to be the most secure. In a valley, you can be easily observed from above and led astray. Well, that seems kind of paranoid. But out in the hills, you can go whichever way you choose. It is true that in any game or any situation where I don't know where I'm at, you always go to the high ground. Or just in general. Like if you have the option to go down or up, you go up. That's just what I do. I think it's a good thing to do. The path winds upward into the hills and into the cover of a wood. The afternoon sun glints through the trees and plays tricks on your eyes. Every so often, you catch a glimpse of some strange-shaped animal or other watching you, only to find that it is the silhouette of branches and leaves caught at an odd angle. After an hour's walk, you are starting to feel hungry. Stop and eat. Because I can. You clamber to the top of a low stone dolmen, then sit and pull out a quantity of your cheese and bread and eat. While admiring the view down the hillside through a break in the trees, you feel better for your rest. Good. Gain some stamina there. Time to move on. You stand and put on your pack, on which you had been sitting to prevent any creatures getting in, or any of your things falling out. Then you return to the path. The climb continues, with the path twisting this way and that. The air grows cold, and the sun flickers on the horizon, then sets, making it hard to see your way. But the moon is full, and when twilight is done, it will be bright once more. Make camp or keep walking. I want to keep walking. You don't really camp in a forest. I don't know if that's a really good idea. You are young and strong, and there will be plenty of nights later in your journey where you can catch up on sleep in a real bed. A quest such as yours requires endurance. You will suffer for it physically, of course. The stars come out one by one above you, writing out the names of the spirits, including your own. The camel. The camel. Oh, we're back to the camel. You continue on your weary way. As you walk, you think of the crown. It calls you onwards already, even though you have never seen it. It is as if it knows your name and is waiting for you, deep in the fortress of Manpank. But does it summon you to rescue it and restore the balance of power to the Fimfree Alliance? Or does it summon you to your death and destruction to place a seal on the power of the Archmage? I wonder when parts in 3 and 4 of this is supposed to come out. I obviously haven't not played part 2, but I can't imagine that it's going to take me too long to get through these. The second day of your journey begins in the morning cool. You feel the presence of your spirits, the camel, close nearby. Its form has changed since you left Danaland, just as you have changed, but it is still walking beside you. In the temple, they taught you that a prayer to your spirit could heal disease, lift curses, even save you from certain death. But the spirits are not generous and decline to help often. I can ask with the pray button, which I don't need. You can feel yourself getting accustomed to the fetid air of these hills. You have now ascended several hundred feet and can expect to make excellent progress before the end of the day. As you crest the brow of a hill, you see something that makes you stop in your tracks. To your left is a clearing, and in the clearing are several poles planted firmly in the ground, and atop each pole is a head. Let's get the fuck out of here. You don't stop to inspect head-on spikes. You just fucking go. This is clearly no place to linger. You must press on. A large X painted on a rock nearby is obviously intended as a warning not to venture any further. But ahead the road forks left and right, and you cannot be sure which path you're warned not to take. The right-hand path continues to climb, and the left-hand path winds down the side of a hill. Oh, hold up. There's a path this way? I didn't even... No, wait, that's the one I wanted to go to. This is the headhunters, and those are the head-on spikes telling me not to go that way. So we don't even need to, like, think about it. The climb continues up the next hill for several hours until you're not far from the top. Then the faint sound of bustling activity reaches you. Tramping feet, grunting voices, and the clanking of metal against rock. There is something ahead, hidden by the ancient trees that line these slopes. Tramping feet, grunting voices, and the clanking of metal against rock. Metal against rock. Would that be sharpening a sword, maybe? Or cleaning off a sword? Or metal against rock with starting a fire? Nope. Keep to the path. You keep walking. Whatever is happening behind the tree line is best left to itself. Soon the path crests the hill and begins to lead downwards. So she's an explorer, but at the same time, she's not a fucking moron. And you don't just, in a place like this, where you can potentially be attacked by most things, when you hear grunting voices in metal, you don't fucking go towards it. That's just a rule that she has. She's kind of stupid, though, because she did burn down that gate earlier. So maybe that was more in character, just to be like, hey, what's this? I'm going to go for it. But, you know, she is the kind of a thinker. She has stopped and looked around and thought about things. She doesn't just plunge forward. So if you give her enough warning signs, she can be sort of spontaneous and just like do something off the cuff without thinking about it. But obviously she put some thought into listening and therefore made a decision. I know it might be weird to like justify the decisions this way, but I feel it gets me more into the story. I don't know. You follow a path that leads sharply downhill into a narrow valley in which a stream runs. There's no path along the bank, but there is a bridge. We're of course going to inspect the bridge. You test the ropes. They seem to be firm. If this is a trap, it's not one that will dump you into the stream. But you could always struggle through the vegetation on the bank and try to find a fording point. Fording, no. We're going to use a bridge.